Okay. So this demonstration is basically about creation of the table with constraints. So as you all know, constraints are nothing but uh, they are the rules on the input data. So whenever tables are created, user will enter the data. And remember, users are going to be like railway reservation clerks or clerks at the bank also, who are not who are not basically the programmers. They will not even understand sometimes, even though they have to make correct entry, but by mistake, they may try to enter wrong data, or they may enter unknowingly also wrong data. Then what will happen? Once that wrong data is entered, if the database accepts that wrong data, then the integrity of the data is lost. And then it will create problems in other tables as well. So that's why taking care of avoiding invalid data or validation of the data is very, very important. This validation of the data is done in various ways. One, it can be done by writing programs. Soon you will learn validation of such data in your subject. I think you will be learning it in web programming, that is in the 5th semester. Apart from that, some of the data validations can be done at the database management system itself. So the latest, you can say, versions of RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management Systems, provide us with many constraints, which once set at the time of table creation, they will automatically take care of avoiding invalid data throughout the lifetime of the database. So what are these constraints? A quick recap again. First constraint is a primary key constraint. This constraint takes care that every record is unique in nature, or you can say value of one particular field is unique for every record. As I had given you example, when it comes to college, when it comes to class, uh, roll number is unique for every student. So a roll number is such a field which will uniquely identify each student's record. So we can consider roll number as a primary key. Similarly, when you go to different databases, you will find one such field which will uniquely identify every record. When it comes to your bill, there will be something called as invoice number. So every bill has got a unique invoice number. When you talk about railway reservation again, every reservation made, every ticket will have some unique number. Fine. So primary key is a constraint applied on one particular field or one particular column, which will make that column value unique for every record. Fine. So it avoids duplicates and null values. Remember that. It will not allow the same value for two records, and also it will not allow null value. Then there is not null constraint, which will exclusively not allow null values. Sometimes the field may not be primary key, but there could be some fields for which you don't want user to enter null values. So that can be checked using null, not null constraint. Then there is check constraint, which can be used for various purposes. Then there is unique constraint, which checks for duplicates, and foreign key constraint, which is very, very, very important and little difficult to understand, but once you have understood it, actually it works miraculously. So foreign key constraints can be given again in two different ways, which will check the relationship between two fields. Normally, these two fields belong to two different tables, but rarely in case of recursive relationship, these two fields may belong to the same table, but normally they belong to two different tables. So these constraints should be specified at the time of table creation. But again, it is not compulsory because it can be specified even after the table creation. But ideally, as long as there is no data inserted, you can add these constraints. Once the data is inserted, it becomes difficult. It is something, as I had given you example last time. Whatever rules have to be set for admitting the students. First, those rules have to be made clear, then only clear, and also they should be announced properly, and then only using those rules we can take admission of the students. It's not that few admissions we take and again we start implementing the rule. So that will create problems. Similarly, here database will make you specify these rules as long as there is no data entered. Once the data is entered, database may reject application of these rules, or it may ask you to empty or delete the data and then apply these rules. Fine. Anyway, so let us see how to create a table with constraint. So create table student. Now earlier we had created student table without constraint. Now we are making use of the constraint. First field is roll number, which is of the data type number. And here I have made this roll number as primary key. Then name, I have made it as not null constraint. That means no user will be able to enter null values for the name. Then city, purposely I have not applied any constraint here. Age, it is a numeric value. For that, I have specified check constraint, which will check that age should be greater than or equal to 16. So if any user, if any student is of less age than 16, then it will not take such value. So last time we have already created this table. I was just demonstrating you how database will reject the values if we enter, you can say the values which do not satisfy these rules. Fine. So let us try inserting such values. Last time I had already showed you. So this table also I have, this record also I have shown. See, I inserted into the student table roll number 1, 2, and then third time I tried to insert roll number 1 again. And then we got an error message called as unique constraint violated. Actually, this error is because roll number I have made it as primary key, and it will not accept same roll number again for different student. Since we have already made or created these two records, one is roll number 1 AAA, another is roll number 2 BBB. Then for CCC, when I try to enter the same roll number again, it has given error. It doesn't say primary key constraint violated. It will just check which part of that primary key constraint, whether uniqueness is violated or whether null value is given. So it is giving you unique constraint violated. It is basically the primary key's uniqueness is violated. Violated means it is disturbed or it is not satisfied. Clear? It is broken. That rule is broken. So this is how DBMS will automatically take care of invalid data once the constraints are specified. Okay. So now let us continue with our DBMS. That is, I'll switch to Oracle, and from there we'll try to insert invalid data. So before that, now remember that whatever table I have created last time with constraint, those constraints will remain with the database. Of course, you would have saved, but even if you have not done any commit command, but still automatically this table creation command will save itself. So I will just try to see what are the values entered in the student table. So see, we have entered first and second record. Now I will try to again insert the record, insert into student values. I will try to see, I have shown you entering the same roll number. I will try to show again entering the roll number to here for CCC. Ages, I'll try to enter proper age, that is 21. What error did you get here? Yes. What error can you see here?
Unique constant.
Unique constraint violated. That is because again I have tried to insert the same roll number for another record. Now I will just try to change the roll number to 3. Remaining things I'll keep as it is, so that you understand that was the only reason because of which it was rejecting the entry. So now it has accepted the entry. It has created the record with roll number 3. So we have checked the application of primary key constraint. Now you may say that, okay, primary key checks for duplication as well as null values. Normally, with this syntax of insert command, even if I skip any of the field, it doesn't accept. It will say not enough values. So it is not the case of only roll number. Even if I skip any other value, it will say not enough value. So you may say, see, for this last field, which was at age, I had not given not null, but still it is checking for not null, isn't it? It is not accepting null value. Are you getting what I'm trying to talk? So null values, it is automatically not taking with this syntax. So let me tell you another syntax of insert table. Fine, inserting record. There is one more syntax. We had learned 2 syntaxes. So let me take you to the Word file and I'll show you. Inserting records, I had shown you 2 different ways. Yeah, syntax 1 and syntax 2. Can you see your syntax 1? And syntax 1 is about directly inserting the values. Syntax 2 I had told you about by giving ampersand and then go on giving forward slashes so that it will go on accepting the values. Then there is syntax 3. Syntax 3 is like this. Let me execute there and then again I will switch back. Insert into student. And then I specify the fields for which I want to insert. Roll number. What is my second field here? S name. So S name. Then city here. Proper field names have to be specified. Age. So what I have done here, insert into student, and then in the bracket I have specified the fields. Then I say values. Then I specify the value. For example, now it is roll number 4, and then it is TDT. Then it is maybe from Harvard. I hope you're understanding the way I'm giving it in single quote and see non-numeric values. Non only for varchar I have to. Okay, now for non-numeric I have to give it in single quotes. Now age is a numeric value, so I can give it in without single quote. Now I try to insert using this syntax. So even this syntax you have to remember. Why this syntax is important, I'll tell you. And actually, instead of syntax, I have already given you the example itself. So syntax will be insert into table name, field 1, field 2, field 3, field specification, then values, and then values to be specified. So 2 brackets are used here. Now with this syntax, when I try to insert something with null values where constraint is not used, it will accept. Like for example, see here, at the time of table creation, now my question is, can you tell me for which field I can enter null values here? How many fields are there in my table?
4.
4. Which field can be given null?
Yes, name.
S name, no. S name will not accept null value because I have given the constraint not null. And even roll number will not accept null value because by default primary key will take care of not null values. Primary key will not allow null value. So I can give null values, null in the sense blank values to which all fields? Are you understanding my question? See, until and unless I give, I say that, okay, for this field, don't allow null values. DBMS will allow null values if I don't specify. Like, for example, for city, have I specified that it should be not null? Have I specified?
No.
No. So it will accept null values for city. Same thing for age. Of course, age, because I have given check constraint that age should be greater than 16, but I have not said that if null values are entered, don't accept. So for city as well as for age, it will not accept. Okay, age I am little doubtful because it might expect me to enter some value which is greater than 16. So I doubt whether it will allow null values. We can try. So now with this new syntax, I will try to skip city for the next record which I am trying to insert. Like this 4th record I have already inserted. Now let me insert 5th record. So roll number 5 is there. And I can say that roll number 5 name is EEE. And I do not know to which city, I do not know which city that person belongs to. So I want to skip city. So if I have to skip city, then even I have to use this syntax only. If I have to skip any value, then I have to use this syntax of insertion only. How? I can say insert into the table name, then specify the fields for which you are specifying the values. So I've specified here only 3 fields and 3 values. Since I'm skipping city here, the value of city I have skipped. So here in the field specification also, I have removed that city. So roll number, this 5 will go to roll number, E will go to S name, 19 will go to age, and city here will be blank. So let me insert. Can you see it has accepted the 5th record without city? Now I can just say select star from student. Can you see here for roll number 5, city is blank. It is also called as null. City is blank or it is also called as null. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So such insertions can be made only with this kind of syntax. What is this syntax? Insert into table name and you have to specify the fields for which you are going to insert values and skip those fields for which you don't want to enter the value. So in rare cases, of course, you later on you will learn in the characteristics of database that nulls are not preferred in database until unless they are required. Like sometimes there may be a case that values are not known or values should be entered later. Right now they are not known. So in that case, you can use this syntax of insert statement and later on you can always update this record. Update, you can say student set city equal to whichever city that person belongs to where roll number equal to 5. So by this time, you should be able to recollect all the records, all the commands by which you can update, delete, or insert the values. Is this clear about this insert now? Okay. If the same thing I try for name, now with the same statement, I will try to skip name. I have skipped city here, so I will try to skip name. So how I will use the same syntax. I will skip S name and I will write city for the next record to be inserted. So I could skip city, but let us see whether we can skip name. So earlier roll number was 5. Now let me enter 6. And since I'm skipping name, let me just enter the city here. I'll say Pune again. Is this clear to you? I'm entering roll number 6 without name, and I have specified city and I have specified age. What error did you get here? What message did you get? Yes. So you have got a message here, cannot insert null into system.student.name. That means into the field as name, you can't insert null values. When I tried to insert null values in the city, it has accepted. But for name, it is not accepting. Why is it so? Can you tell me the reason? Why it is not accepting for name?
Because they have set it to not null.
Yes, very good. Because I have given the constraint as not null. So this is how not null constraint will work. So I've demonstrated how primary key will work, and I've also demonstrated how not null will work. Clear? Now let me demonstrate how check constraint is going to work. So for the next record, let me insert age of a student as less than 16. So here for this record, will take my normal syntax now. Insert into student values. Now roll number 6, comma, I insert the name as FFF, and let me insert the age as 9. Is it clear to you? Roll number 6, name is FFF, city is Pune, and age is 9. I press enter. So you can see here it is giving me the error message, check constraint violated. So it is giving a message that you're trying to break check constraint, which is not allowed because I have specified to be greater than 16, greater than or equal to 16. So even when I give 16, it will accept. One row created, can you see here? So this is how it will accept 16 or above 16, but it will not accept below 16. So this is how now we have demonstrated how various constraints will work. Okay, once we have specified. Now let me specify a foreign key constraint. Now what do you mean by foreign key? Let me just explain you with the notations. So here here. Foreign key constraint. Suppose you have one table here. Normally, whenever you take admission, the entry will go to the admission table. So here, there is admission table. Now, similarly, suppose there is another table called as results. So here there is results. Now here in your personal students' personal details, you will have roll number, you will have roll number, you will have name, you will have city, and you will have so many details. Normally, in case of results, you prefer not mentioning the name. It will be only roll number and then some examination, like whatever marks you have scored. Fine, only roll number and then marks. Why is it so? Why marks are stored in different table? That is the way how your RDBMS arranges the data. RDBMS will not allow you to mix up the data. Why? There is a reason you will understand later. Uh, that is to avoid repetition or redundancy. How that redundancy can be avoided by bifurcating this data, that I will explain you later, maybe in the second last chapter when we will learn rules, or they are called as normalizations rules for database management system, which is very, very important chapter, but it is little complicated. So we'll cover it at the end. But right now you understand that it is always advisable to store the data in bifurcated tables, in different tables. So when we store the data in different tables, there should be some link. If I store only marks, then what is going to happen? I will not understand whose marks. So just to create a connection that these marks belong to this roll number only, I add a common field in both the tables called as roll number. So roll number is one such field which is going to create a link between these two tables. Now this is my student table. You can say it is a personal table, and this is the marks table. So what is the link between these two tables? What is the common data? That is roll number. Only by roll number I'll understand, okay, this person has this name and he has scored marks in such and such subject, like that. So roll number becomes a common link between these two tables. Now to give you another example, whenever there is employee, now in Gupte College also, we all are employees. So when we take admission, in the sense when we are appointed in one particular institute, when I go to library, they will ask me my appointment letter. And only once they will see the appointment letter, they will generate a barcode for me, and they will create a library, account for me, book account for me. Once I resign from the college, they will also remove my details from the salary table, that is from my account section. They will also remove my name from my leave register. They will also remove my name from the attendance. They will also remove my name from the library. So all these are bifurcated tables. Assume library is another table, attendance is another table, salary is another table, leave management is another table. So from all my tables, my record will be deleted. What if my record is deleted only from one? Like once I resign, my record is deleted only from the attendance, but my salary is going on getting credited. Accounts department has not deleted my record. Or when I go to library, I can still issue the book. So that will never happen. How that can be avoided? Manually, if you try to maintain, then such problems might occur. But when this DBMS takes care of creating a link between, or creating a relationship between these multiple tables, such errors can be avoided. And that link is called as foreign key constraint. Now, how to specify foreign key constraint? Again, when it comes to constraint, they can be specified at two different levels. Okay. So constraints can be specified at two different levels. One is column level. Second is table level. So whatever demonstration I have given you so far is all column level. Okay. Anyway, so foreign key also can be specified at two different levels. One is column level and table level. So when it comes to column level, again, there are different, variations in the syntax. I will give you the simplest syntax. So how now I am creating another table. So create table marks. I take roll number. Remember, because roll number is going to be a linking field between the two tables, see to it that its data type and size is same. Name can vary, but preferably even I take name also to be same. So roll number and what is the specification I had given for roll number, data type, and 3 as the size. So I'll say number, size as 3. And then how to create a link. So there are 2-3 ways. Simplest one is references. And then I should specify a table to which I am trying to link. The references student mean automatically that roll number from marks table will be linked to the roll number in student table. What do you mean by this linking? I will tell you later. So let me just add. I will just say IA1. That is, and I'll say number. Specify the size as 3. I don't add any other constraint here. So IA2, that is internal marks 2. Number in size as 3. Pass. That is my marks table. My table is created. So this is how I created. I use foreign key constraint. Is this clear? So all of you just take down the syntax of one of the syntax of creating foreign key. So this roll number in the marks table is said to be a foreign key, which refers to the original parent table, that is student. So for roll number, parent table is student and it is a foreign key in marks table. What is the advantage of using a foreign key? That I will explain in the next class. All of you give your attendance. Any doubt so far?